Anthony Hartwig here with a basketball season preview. We're in Middle Ridge tonight with a coach's corner with Marcus Higgs, the head coach of the Rams down there in Middle Ridge. Coach, thank you so much for taking the time to be with us today.
Thank you. I appreciate you for having us.
So first, let's just talk about taking this job and what it means to you, and kind of what were the things that led you to be able to pick Middle Ridge as somewhere you wanted to be.
Oh man, I was more than delighted to take this job. When it opened up, um, I was in line right away. Um, because one of the things I know about this program is these guys are good kids and they want to get after it. I've been part of the football program here for the last 5 years, um, so I knew all the kids. So with me wanting to take this job, it was a no brainer.
Last year this was a program that was hit with the injury bug before the season even started, with a couple of kids that got hurt during football that just could not make it to the season. Now that you go into a year where you're a little bit more healthy and you have a little bit more of a good idea of who you got in the roster, how exciting is that for this program to know, like, this is who we're supposed to be?
Right, right, man. Honestly, man, during football season, I'm up in the press box because I was still helping out with football, and your heart's racing every play. Because the other side of you, you just don't want your guys that it's going to be your guys in basketball to get hurt. Um, but when that last game happened and the clock hit 0-0, I can't lie to you, man. I was very happy that I knew all my guys were still healthy. We had one player banged up a little bit, but he's ready to go, and we're right where we want to be right now as far as our health. So I'm excited about that. Um, we had Jordan, who's going to be back for his senior season. He didn't play at all last year;
Mm-hmm.
was banged up. He's back. Um, and then we had John Rossi, who was banged up during football as well, who's a senior, who's going to be back with us playing a full season. So I'm excited about it.
Let's meet the whole team. Let's go through your roster, the names that we're going to be seeing on Middle Ridge's court this year. I know there are some faces that we're very familiar with, but there might also be some new faces that are going to be, taking a big step this year at Middle Ridge as well.
Yeah, for sure. Like I mentioned before, our two seniors. Um, there are two guys that are going to be our workhorses, and Jordan Moore, and then John Rossi. Are two guys that we look for to lead this team. And then we get to our juniors. Our junior class, we have 5 juniors that we're going to be looking for to provide some quality minutes for us day in and day out. We have Chase Moore, who's going to be our workhorse inside along with his brother. We have Landon Bingham, who got a lot of minutes due to Jordan's injury. He's going to be back. Caden Schaefer, Jack Geddes, Blake Basista. Those are our other three guys that we're looking to handle the ball and be consistent for us this year. Sophomores, we got a couple sophomores that are fighting for minutes right now. We have Ryan Allshire, who's fighting down low inside. Thomas Kanowski is a guard who is looking to fight for minutes. Um, and then Derek Hester is another kid who's looking to fight for minutes this season. So I'm excited about it. From the top to bottom, we have at least 10 guys that can go out there and play on any given night. So the competition is great in practice. We're getting after it, and I can't wait to see what it turns into.
What has it been like, working with especially the upperclassmen and trying to get them to buy into the philosophy and the culture that you want to instill at Middle Ridge, and seeing the younger guys on the team kind of follow suit once the older guys kind of understand what you want and fall in line with it?
Right, man. It's actually, honestly, it's been an easy transition to get them to, get used to what we want to do here. From our locker room, I don't know if you've seen our locker room, doing the new paint job in our locker room, getting different things from our administration that's been helping me transition to this program into what I want it to be and my vision. The guys seeing it, they believe in it, and they're buying in pretty well, man. I'm excited, and they showing it on the court. Every practice is a good practice where these guys are getting after it and competing. So it's been well, and the young guys are seeing it too, and it's trickling down from our freshman program because we got a freshman team this year for the first time in a while, and then into our middle school program. So it's going well so far.
Let's talk about that culture and the philosophy that you have. What would you say your coaching philosophy and culture is that you want to instill into this Middle Ridge program?
Yes, man. Honestly, I mean, I want to create a team that's going to get after it from on the defensive end. Each and every night, aggressive defense, um, where teams know you're coming. You know, you're not going to let up. We're not just letting guys dribble up the basketball court and not checking them. So tenacious defense, and on the offensive end, I mean, honestly, we're gonna slow the pace down to a point, and make teams play the pace we want them to play. And then you're going to see us push the ball a little bit too when the time is right. Um, if we could do those two things and make teams play the way we want them to play, and not so much have to worry about the other team, I think we'll be just fine. So we're going to get after it. You'll see that a difference in that.
It might be the first year that you're at the helm, but I know you are very familiar with how good this league is. Let's talk about your schedule. We'll start in the MVAC. What do you see out of the league this year, and how do you think Middle Ridge can kind of put their nose into the top tier of the conference?
Yeah, definitely, man. Honestly, I mean, it's going to be a tough league. I mean, each and every night you got to bring your A game. We got 8 teams in our conference that on any given night that you could lose to if you don't bring it. So I mean, it's going to be a competitive league. You know, we added Camel this year to our conference, which always a very athletic team. So each and every night, you got to bring it. You know, first we start off with Lowville, and they're going to be a good team. They're always well put together. So we got to be ready for them right off the bat. And then our non-conference, you talk about the non-conference. You know, we're looking at Champion, Latonia, Lordstown. Um, Wyndham, who had a good football season this year, that got some athletic kids over there. We got to bring it each and every night, so it's not going to be a cakewalk. I mean, like in the previous years, I mean, you had to bring it, and you're going to still have to bring it no matter what if we want to change this thing around.
You know, one of the things that we have talked about this year because of the expansion that we normally don't talk about for these previews is tournament time.
Hmm.
Everything expanding in basketball. What's your take on it, and how lucky do you think Middle Ridge is to have a little bit of a comparable bracket now, where you're playing teams that are a little bit more equal to the size of school that you are in the tournament?
Right, definitely, man. I mean, I like it honestly. I mean, it gives you a even playing field with when it comes to tournament time. You got teams that have similar numbers to you, that look like you. Honestly, so I think it's a good thing, man, that we'll be able to compete in tournament time. You hope you hitting on all cylinders when that time comes, but um, the way they expanded it, I think it's a good thing, man. It evens out the playing field a little bit.
All right, coach, we would not let this interview slide by without letting you talk about your coaching staff, because even though you get the interviews in the limelight, we know that the people that you have put in place behind you are going to be helping you make this program to what you want it to be. So let's talk about the people that you've brought on in this program to help you with it and help make it what you want it to be.
Yeah, definitely, man. I mean, coming into being a head coach, man. Honestly, one of the things I looked for was with guys with experience. And sometimes becoming a head coach, you don't always get that. But I was lucky. Some guys was out there that has that experience, and I was able to get them. I'll start with George Lannerman. He's one of my varsity assistants. He was a head coach at Hubbard before. Um, awesome guy. He's been in this community for a while now. He's evolved in our middle school football program, but he has head coach experience in basketball wise, and I was lucky to be able to snag him up. Then I have Brian Durrett. He was head coach here for a couple years. Has experience, been around a while. Lucky to get him as well. And then in my third coach, another coach who has head coach experience, Rick Cover. He's been a head coach at Niles, been a couple assistant at a couple different places. He's going to be my JV coach as well as helping out with the varsity. Those three guys, I mean, I'm lucky to have. And then my freshman coach, Bobby Cameron, is a community guy, owns physical action therapy up here in Mineral Ridge. First year basketball coach, but man, he played here. He's a sponge. He's willing to learn. He's helped me in so many aspects, getting this program to where I need to be, and I appreciate him for it, man. So I got four quality guys that I have my trust in, that I'm glad that I was and lucky to have. Like not most coaches, when you come into a head job position, can get the experience that I got on my staff. So I'm very happy about that.
You know, when you talk about the experience you brought on, how much have you leaned on them to help out with all the other stuff that comes with being a head coach? I know you know how to coach guys and you know how to kind of motivate the kids and put them in the right position. But all the paperwork and the executive stuff that you have to handle, how much have you leaned on the guys to have been there before to kind of get that stuff taken care of?
Oh man, a lot, a lot. I'll be totally honest, man. First coming into this, man, especially this time of year, as a head coach, there's so many things you're doing to get prepared for the season that people in the background just don't see, And these guys have helped me along the way, from making sure we prepare for practice to, you know, reminding me of things that might go over my head, because as a head coach, you got so many things that's going on in your mind and that you're trying to remember. And they all been there and they know, the busy time of year it is in November to try to get ready for game time in December. They know what it's like, and the constant reminders, helping me do the little paperwork stuff. I mean, they've been there, and I'm so grateful for it. Most people are just not lucky as I am right now.
Coach, we know you have a couple of scrimmages before the season starts. Before we let you go, talk about some of the goals that you want to see accomplished before game one when we see the lights turn on and the games start to matter.
Yeah, man, definitely, man. I mean, one of the things I want to see out of us this year is our value with the basketball. We have to be a team that values it day in and day out, from practices, from scrimmages, and going to game. I tell these guys each and every night, man, every possession counts. So you got to make it count. So taking care of the basketball and then getting it back on the defense end as well, man. Playing tenacious defense. Um, but one of our some of our goals this year is just to not only compete in games, but to win games. I mean, that's the only way these guys gonna start believing, when they start seeing the W's in the win column. You start winning games, and you get a winning season here, and you watch this thing take off. Um, and then, we want to compete come tournament time. You get in the tournament, especially with the expanded divisions now. You get in that first tournament, it could be somebody that you can definitely beat. So I want to, definitely compete for a district title, and then see where we go from there. I think we can get there, but it's gonna take some work. It's gonna take a lot of hard work to get there. And I see some positive aspects so far. I mean, we scrimmaged Hubbard and Bristol yesterday, and I see a lot of growth with these guys already. And I can't wait to see midway point of the season where we at.
Coach, we can't wait to see you out there. We want to thank you for your time coming on, talking to us about this program. We'll be out there covering you all year, and we'll see you again real soon, bud.
Hey man, thanks. I appreciate it.